The birds are out and it's finally spring, so we're getting ready for our 2025 camping season. And so today I'm going to show you my top 10 favorite camping items from Amazon that are all under 20 bucks. These are all things that our family has used over the last few years when we go on our camping trip. So if you're new to camping or you just like camping gear, kind of like I do, then I hope that this video is helpful for you. None of this gear is sponsored, but I will have links below for the most current Amazon prices. So let's get started with some of the fairly cheap gear that our family uses on our camping trips. So the first thing on my list is actually something that someone else had at a campground. Fixes a problem that I kind of always had, but I didn't really know was a problem. It's how to carry wood from your car to your campsite. So if you're doing any sort of campground where you have to walk a little bit to your campsite and you got to carry your wood, usually they just wrap it in plastic and they're kind of hard to carry. So I picked up these wood carrying canvas bags, and these have been worth every penny. So for about 15 to 17 bucks, you can get one of these. These are 3 years old now. They've had a lot of use, and these things are absolutely a must-have now when we go camping. So much that we actually have 2 of them. We even use it when I'm carrying wood just to go get ready to split. They do have little locks on the top, but you can put a whole bunch of wood into the bag and you can carry it without getting splinters, without hurting your hand. My wife and I both have one now, and we use this on every trip. I think these are about 17 bucks today as I'm filming this, but these are absolute must-haves for us now. So number 2 on my list is a favorite way to start a fire. I know I've talked about this in other videos, but it's fat wood. And this is the middle of the pine tree, so it has all the oils on it, and it just goes right up when you light it. You can buy a whole box of this stuff for 20 bucks online, and that's what I did, and had it shipped to me, and it's 10 pounds. Last summer we went through basically one box, so for 20 bucks or so you could have all your fires started for the whole summer. And we went camping almost every weekend, so we went through a lot of campfire wood. This is my box for the 2025 season. But you can take basically 3 of these and you can start a fire, and these will burn for about 10 minutes and create a pretty good flame. So we have found that fat wood is our best and fastest way to start a fire. You can put some pretty decent sized logs on top of this. You'll put 3 or 4 of these down, you'll light it up, they'll burn for about 10 minutes. They will smoke a little bit right away, but then once the smoke is gone, you are all set and you have your fire. So now let's move on to number 3 of my list of camping items that are under 20 bucks. I like the buy it for life items, and this is an item that I purchased in 2011, and thanks to Amazon you can see your old receipts, so I've had this for a long time. This is a 10¼ inch Lodge cast iron pan. We bring this on all of our family trips. You can use this on the fire, you can use this on your gas stove. It is super versatile, and as you can see it is well used, so it's got a pretty good seasoning on it, and it is in great shape. And it's made in the United States, so that's pretty cool. But this is something that we use car camping, even on some of our kayak camping trips. When we go across the lake, we'll throw it in the kayak, but these are not light. But the best part about this pan is it doesn't just have to be a camping utensil, so you're not wasting any money with it sitting around. We use this even during the normal week when we're cooking dinner. You can cook anything on here on your gas range or electric range if you're real careful. This is more than just camping gear, but this is something that I think everybody should have. And it's not even that hard to cook on. I know some people say it can be a little tough, but for 17 bucks they can come pre-seasoned now, and it's worth every penny. So this is something that is definitely used on all of our trips. So number 4 on my list is another Lodge accessory. If you have the cast iron Dutch oven, which does cost more than 20 bucks, and you have one of those, getting the lid off of it can be hot when you're camping. So we picked up one of these Dutch oven lid lifters for about $16, and this is actually very useful. And it's pretty light, so this doesn't take up too much room, but you can just clip the top of the lid and you can pick it up, and that way you can take the lid off and you don't have to worry about it falling or getting hot, even just to see a little bit of what's cooking. So this is something that's just useful to have, one of those gadgets that you can live without, but once you have one, you will use it. So now that we've talked about starting a fire and cooking some food, let's talk about some of the utensils that you need when you're eating on a camping trip, because we all know that when you go camping, you're going to end up eating. When you start spending a little bit more money, you can get into nicer plates and spoons and forks, and you can get away from the plastic. The Snow Peak titanium plate, and this is the first titanium plate that I'd owned, and I didn't realize how light titanium was. When you actually hold it, you realize that 2 ounces is really not a lot of weight. So I do have 2 of them, and even with both of them together, these are super light. So I don't have a lot of light camping gear, but we're kind of somewhat getting a little bit more because we found that buying light or smaller is cheaper than buying a new car. And so we have 2 of these plates, but these cost you about 19 bucks a piece. So these add up a little bit quicker. I've had these for 2 years now, so they're still in really good shape. They will get really hot. One thing that we like about these plates is they're about the same size as our GSI polypropylene plates. So they stack up pretty well, and they're about the same weight, but these are plastic and these are titanium. So they're a little bit more rugged than these. Like I said, you're gonna pay a little bit more for these. So number 6 on my list is actually back to GSI, and these are their spoons, forks, and knives, and this comes in a set of 3. So we have a fork, a spoon, and, well, a knife right here. I have 2 sets of these, and these are stainless steel. We have been slowly upgrading a lot of our stuff to stainless steel just because we go camping a lot, and sometimes when you get home, you're tired and you don't clean it right away. And we don't want our stuff to rust, and you could just throw it in the dishwasher and it's easy to clean. So this is a stainless steel set that cost about 18 bucks. So we bought this probably 2 or 3 years ago also when we started converting all of our stuff. So they're not as light as the titanium, but they are stainless steel and they're easy to clean and they're not gonna rust, and these have held up really well. These are solid too, so they don't even bend when we use them. So we have 2 sets of these. So if you're looking for a stainless steel set, I think these work really well, and they're priced pretty well, under 20 bucks. When you are camping, you're gonna have to wash dishes. And we do a lot of campgrounds, but we also do a lot of kayak camping. We have been bringing this wilderness wash that is biodegradable, and it's very concentrated. So you don't have to use a lot of this to wash your dishes. We still keep it out of the lakes. We don't wanna put it in the water. It's part of the Leave No Trace program, and it works really well. It's biodegradable, pH neutral, all purpose, and has low suds, which we have found that there's not a lot of suds with it. It says you can use it for body wash and shampoo. We only ever use it to wash our dishes. And if you buy a 2-pack is about 18 bucks. So we bought this last summer, and so in one summer we did almost go through 1 full container, and so this summer I still have a whole bottle of soap left. So because this is concentrated, this 250 milliliters of soap will last, at least for us, the whole summer. And like I said, we camp a lot. My wife likes to wash the dishes when we're camping. So this is a good product. Try to keep it away from the water. Don't put it into the lakes and streams. We're trying to keep all of our lakes and streams clean for the future. So now that you've done all your dishes, you need to go hang them up so they can dry. One thing we've found to be helpful is this campsite storage strap. A clothesline, but it has little loops on it where you can hang carabiners. And when you're done washing your stuff and you need to hang a towel, you can take your towel, put it on the loop, and it'll stay there. But you can also hang your spoons and forks, and then it just keeps all of your stuff in one spot. And like I said, I like the stainless steel, so at the campground they're not gonna rust if they don't get washed right away. But we hang like pots and pans. So other stuff you can hang is like a spatula. You put it on your carabiner and it'll hang right here. Keeps everything off the ground, lets it dry out in the sun. These are pretty useful. This is about 18 bucks, and it does come with some little carabiners, and we've added a lot of our own carabiners. This is like a 10-pack for 9 bucks, a little cheap set of carabiners. So now that everything is cleaned up, we need to go relax and get ready for the evening. One thing we bring on every camping trip is a hammock. We have some that are more expensive, but this is our cheaper version. This is about 15 bucks on Amazon, so it's not too bad, and we bought this last year and it's still in great shape. This is a Kutech nylon hammock. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not exactly sure. I just randomly found this last summer when I was looking for some cheap hammocks, and I didn't exactly know how well they would work, but this has lasted all of last summer, and it does come with a carabiner which is tied to the hammock so it doesn't come off, so you don't lose it. One time we did try to untie because we weren't exactly sure what we were doing. It has a nice little locking and it's still working after a year, nice and strong. It does not twist on the end, but that's never a problem because it's just hanging between two trees. It's different pieces that are sewed together with 3 strands of thread down the middle, and it's held up pretty well. I don't see any spots where it's coming apart. We don't have any rips, and I have 2 of them and both of them are working. So if you're just looking for a fairly cheap hammock, I think something like this works. One thing it will do is it'll hold water when it rains, and so we have other hammocks that are more of a mesh material, which we really like. And when it rains, you don't have to take them down. So if rain's coming, you kind of want to take this down or it will just become a pool of water. So it takes a little bit longer to dry out. So that's one of the problems that we kind of deal with. But if you take it down before a rainstorm comes, you won't have any trouble. So this hammock is about 9 feet long. So like I said, I don't have any trouble laying in it, and it weighs about 1.8 pounds when it is all wrapped up. It does have a nylon sack that is connected to the hammock, which we really like. And so when you're putting it away, you just stuff it all in here and you don't have to lose the sack to hold it. And real quickly, it fits right in here. It comes with straps that fit in here and everything fits into this nice little bag. So this is worth it. 15 bucks. We have picked up a couple of these hammocks and we take them on all our trips. They fit in the side of the door, so they don't take up much room in the car. So now let's move on to the next thing. Now that we've had a fire, made some food, cleaned our dishes, relaxed in the hammock, it's time for bed. And when it's dark, I find that these glow-in-the-dark stakes are actually very useful. You can buy a 10-pack of these for about 18 bucks online, and the tops of them glow in the dark. I've had these for probably about 10 years now. So this one's actually broke. I have 2 packs actually, and they're still glowing in the dark. So these have been pretty cool, and you kind of forget about them, and you walk around at night and you see little glowing orbs in the ground. You're like, oh yeah, there's a stake there, which means there's a rope. So something to just keep you a little bit safer at night. And as you can see, these are 10.5 inches, and they're basically nails. Like some of the other stuff, this is not gonna be the lightest at this price range. However, you're gonna get a solid steel tent peg with a glow-in-the-dark end on it. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that you were able to find some useful items that are under 20 bucks. I know gear can get really pricey really fast, and it's a lot of fun to have gear, but sometimes you just need gear that you can not spend a bunch of money on. So I hope that some of these ideas of things that we actually use when we go camping are helpful for you getting ready for the 2025 camping season. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.